Hey, I'm Colleen Taylor, watching TechCrunch TV. We're at Mucker Lab in Los Angeles, and sitting with me is Wade Eyerly, who's the founder and CEO of Surf Air.
Thanks for having me. Surf Air is an all-you-can-fly subscription airline, and we fly from here in the LA Basin up to Silicon Valley, and as of yesterday, launched service into Santa Barbara as well.
Give me some more details here when you say subscription. Is this a monthly subscription, yearly subscription? What does this mean?
Yeah, we took a lot of the lessons that people had learned in the tech community with companies like Netflix and others, and then applied them to a very sort of non-traditional, non-tech industry like airlines. And so $16.50 a month, all you can fly on a fleet of 6 and 8 passenger private planes.
How does this make sense at all? How can you make money doing this? I mean, where was this opportunity that you saw to make this kind of company?
So anytime you're looking to start a company, you want to find, you address the pain points, right? There's no industry that people like less than cable companies except airlines. So we knew that was sort of where we wanted to look and what we wanted to build. And when you look at it, the economics of airlines and ticket sales don't work very well. You buy tickets for things that are a privilege. You buy tickets for concerts and movies and ball games and used to be Carnival cruise ships. You don't buy tickets for things that are commoditized, things that you have to do but don't really want to, and that's what flight has become, right? And there was a time in the golden age of flight when pilots were gods among men and celebrity chefs were cooking in first class that it made sense to buy that ticket, but it doesn't anymore, and we've yet to innovate around that in 70 years. So the opportunity, I think, has been there for a very, very long time. We think that ticket system is really broken for air travel.
So who does this make sense for right now? I mean, I suppose that you only have, San Francisco, Santa Barbara, LA, so it's a small group of people, but who are these people?
Yeah, so 92% of the people who sign up are CEOs, entrepreneurs, founders. They're people who are running companies. They're road warriors, right? You need to be more than a frequent flyer for this to work. You need to be a frequent commuter. You got to be going back and forth between a fixed city set. So as sort of the entertainment sector in LA has grown up and began to be married up with the technology sector in Silicon Valley, there's an awful lot of those folks doing exactly that.
And for the expansion opportunities here, is this something that could work all over the country? How big do you see this?
Absolutely. There are 53 routes in the United States that we've identified where this will work. It's nearly 150 cities, 200 cities. Anywhere where high-speed rail works, we work. The difference is the infrastructure is already there. So Eisenhower put airports in every municipality of the country for national defense, and 90% of America's airports operate at less than a third of capacity.
Really?
Half of America's airports are at less than 10%. You could have a spaghetti dinner on most runways in the country. And so we have this hugely overbuilt infrastructure that we can go take advantage of, and all across the country. And so anywhere where people are moving back and forth a lot, we can go. Every direction out of Chicago, Dallas, Houston, San Antonio, Austin, the Northeast, every direction out of Atlanta. There's lots and lots of opportunities. And anywhere that, like I said, mass transit would work, we work. But then there's another piece, and that's anywhere that you don't have a mass of people, but you have a mass of wealth. So Atlanta to Sea Island, Georgia, San Francisco to Tahoe. Right? You're not going to build high-speed rail to connect Tahoe, but we work there because there's enough people at the right demographic to make the model work.
And do you all own the planes? Who do the pilots work for? Where does that side come from?
Yeah, so we hire the pilots, we own the planes, we operate and maintain them. It's in every bit the same way that United is an airline, we're an airline. But you're going to park 40 steps from the plane, and there's no taking your shoes off. Like it's been streamlined significantly back to a much more serviceable, much more pleasurable experience.
And explain to me a little bit more about that technology, because TechCrunch, you want to know about what the technology platform is that makes this more accessible than hiring a private jet typically is, or a private plane.
Sure, so we went through and modeled everything about your flight experience, from how you buy the ticket to how you comparison shop. You should feel guilty that you should have booked 2 weeks ago, like should you wait till tomorrow, maybe it'll be cheaper, all the way through boarding the aircraft, your in-flight experience, getting off and getting where you're going. We modeled all that, and then we broke out everything we felt like was unnecessary. So among the things, if you went to go book on a major carrier today, it would take you 4 minutes if you knew what you were doing and you were going to execute and knew the flight right away. 10 if you were shopping, right? On us, it's 30 seconds to book or cancel because we only need to know 3 things. We already know who you are. It's a membership airline. So we've already qualified who you are, we've run a background check on you, you're good to go. So all we need to know is where do you want to go, when do you want to go, and which flight would you like to get on. It's very, very simple, right? It's everything that sort of booking on any airline should be, but just can't quite get there.
Okay, and give me some numbers about your team, about the company. What's the funding structure like?
Yeah, we have a little more than 60 people now. We raised about $11 million in the last year. We came out of Mucker, we were in the very first class. In May, we accepted $4 million Series A. Then that May, June, we had about $10.5 million offered to us. The Mucker guys are very, very good at teaching you how to go do that. And then we did another 6 or 7 in January. We announced it in June.
Why Los Angeles? Why build a company here? What's that experience been like being a founder here in this time?
You know, initially we were going to launch this New York, DC, Philadelphia, and Atlantic City. Right?
Huh.
Great run. And we came out. I had lost the use of my right bicep in Baghdad, and we were personally as a family looking for a pivot to get out of some government work and move to the private sector. And I interviewed at Stanford. Ultimately got in to go to business school there, and while I was out on that trip, Will and Eric invited me down to sit down with them. And we had intentionally not applied to any tech incubators because they all want tech companies, which we are not. And so we sat down and had a really candid discussion over how this would help us and what they could provide for us and what we were. And ultimately they offered us a spot and we took it. And so we moved the company here when we came here for the incubator. So Mucker very much brought us to LA. And then we very much intended through the program to relocate then to Silicon Valley afterwards. But the LA community, there's no non-cheesy way to put it, but they sort of just took us in and we felt very, very at home here, and so we made the decision to stay.
Thank you so much for talking to us. Keep us posted on Surf Air.
Absolutely.